So, the first question is the investment decision, and ang first decision that a finance manager is looking into is, I have cash, where do I put it? No? So that's the investing decision. And based on the what you learned in your corporate finance courses, okay, what is the ultimate um, determinant if you are going to invest on something or not? The ultimate determinant is the NPV, right? Positive NPV projects will be invested into, right? So if you have a choice, no, and looking into several projects, which one will you choose? You choose or you put your money in projects with positive NPV, because presumably those projects with positive NPV will maximize shareholder value. Essentially, that's what you want to achieve under the investing decision of a firm. And yan yung inaral sa 280.1 when we covered capital budgeting, working capital management. Those are decisions on where to put your funding. Do you want to put your funding in long-term assets, short-term assets? If it's long-term assets, what kind of assets? So positive NPV projects dapat, right? So that's the first question. The second function of a finance person or a finance manager of the finance function, is the financing decision. Essentially, ano yung sinasagot ng financing decision? What's being answered is, where will I get cash? Saan kukuha ng pera? So kabaliktaran noong investing decision. Investing decision is, may pera ka, saan mo ilalagay? What kind of investments are you going to pursue? Under the financing decision or the financing question or function of a finance manager, the question is, I have multitude. I have an array of projects I can invest in. The question is, where will you get the cash? And so therefore, what was the key topic about financing? Essentially, what you discussed in 280.2 is the concept of capital structure decisions. Okay? And essentially, your key takeaway in those capital structure decisions is supposed to be, your objective is to minimize the cost of capital. So ultimately, those two are the main objective of the corporate finance function in its core. Now, why am I discussing this? Because this is the bedrock of the extensions that we will get in advanced corporate finance. So here, let me go down sa rationale. Okay. So here, from our point of view, here in terms of BA2A2, it's still the same. It's still the same framework. It's still the same frame of mind that a finance manager has to make investment and financing decisions. However, the type of investment decisions that we are looking into now are a little bit more complex or a little bit more difficult than a usual project. Okay, we will now be covering, or we will now be delving into projects where there are options involved. Okay. In a capital structure, in a capital budgeting problem, di ba, meron kang forecast ng revenues, forecast ng expenses, forecast ng capex, and then get the NPV using the discount rate, right? NPV positive or NPV negative, that's it. Okay. But in reality, there are some investment decisions na may mga options attached to them, right? Anong example nun? Pag nag-invest ka in R&D ngayon, right? That's an option to take it to the next kind of medicine. Kasi for example, 'di ba ngayon yung mga nag-R&D, for example, ng anong tawag sa Moderna, anong klaseng vaccine sila? Hindi sila kasi yung viral vector vaccines, 'di ba? They're RNA plus vaccines, for example, right? Yung mga nag-research about RNA type of vaccine, ininvest, pag kinuha nila yung NPV noon under regular capital budgeting rules, baka NPV negative yun. Why is that the case? Kasi the probability of success in their in their research and development activities is so low, right? So pag kinuha mo yung present value na mababa yung probability of success, mababa rin yung NPV, right? But you have to also realize that the research that they're doing is also an option to do further kinds of products, right? Kung hindi sila nag-research about RNA, hindi yun wala silang way to actually extend it to other kinds of products, right? So parang ganun yung real options. Okay, na there are some investment opportunities na pwedeng NPV positive ngayon, pero if you wait, probably it's going to be NPV positive. And therefore, may option ka to wait before you to implement and wait. Okay, meron ding option to abandon a project. Pwedeng i-push through mo na yung project, pero later, after a year, negative NPV pa rin siya, baka may option for you to abandon a certain project. So you will look into the intricacies of finding strategic options in your investment decisions, and we call those type of options real options as opposed to financial options. So we'll cover those topics under investment decisions. And then the second main topic under investment decisions is mergers and acquisitions. Mergers and acquisitions are, of course, buying of companies. So kung dati, ang investment decision that we're talking about is whether you invest in a plant or not, or you invest in an equipment or not. The investment decisions that we are talking about now are buying of whole businesses, right? How is it different? How is it more complicated? So that's something that we will cover in this course. These two topics are actually very detailed, meaning very complicated. So we aren't able to cover all aspects of real options and all aspects of mergers and acquisitions. But I'll try to give you a flavor of what they are. In fact, M&A can be a whole course in the MBA program. Pero we're not given that luxury of time here in BA2A2. So I'll give you a taste of what M&A is all about. Okay. After that, we'll talk about financing decisions. And dati, when you talk about financing decisions, mangungutang ba or hindi? Yun lang. No? Now, in this course, we extend that further by introducing you to hybrid or complex securities. So, mas may complicated types of financing. Halimbawa, convertible bonds. Or halimbawa, perpetual notes. Okay? These are innovations in financing that you probably might be reading from time to time in different companies when they issue it. So for example, yung perpetual notes, marami niyan ang AC Energy. Meron silang mga perpetual notes. So para siyang debt, kaso perpetual, meaning forever ang term niya. Right? So para siyang equity, di ba? Kasi even though debt yung pangalan niya, it's a note, right? Pero yung nature niya parang equity-like. Right? So that's something that we will try to understand in this course. Convertible bonds naman, bond nga siya, pero you can convert it to equity later on. How does it work? And why is this kind of financing proliferating? So that's something that we will discuss under financing decisions. And lastly, we'll talk about project finance, which is, there's a push on infrastructure in the Philippines, right? And so project finance is very relevant to infrastructure. So this is a special type of financing. Okay, and we'll learn more about it as we go along. Okay, so kung napansin nyo, it's the same theme of corporate finance, na investment and financing decisions, but we are trying to extend our knowledge further. Investment decisions, anong klaseng investment decisions? So mergers and acquisitions and real options. So that's one extension. Those are two extensions for investment decisions. For financing, anong klaseng financing ang mumulan ng pera that you will invest? It could be debt, it could be equity, or hybrid securities or complex securities, or it could be project financing. So this sort of exposes you to a wider array of finance issues. And we'll try to be as applied as possible in our lessons. But of course, may theory pa rin kasi syempre, yung mga practical that you'll see, those have all theoretical underpinnings. So we'll still cover the theory. Okay. As far as the references are concerned, we have two references, Brealey, Myers, and Allen, which is the usual Corfin 1 and 2 book. So kung may Brealey ka, yun na yun. Most of the chapters use Brealey, except for Project Finance, which use this book by Gatti. So I'm sure you can purchase this online or find this online. So bahala ka na doon. But we'll use and also in our course outline, when I say BMA, it refers to this book. Okay. If I say G, it refers to this book. So kung assignment chapter 20 BMA, it means chapter 20 of Brealey, Myers, and Allen. Okay. So those are our two basic references. I'm sure you have Brealey already because yan naman ang pang Corfin 1 and 2. So we'll just use the same book. Yung Gatti, yung medyo kailangan yung hanapin. Okay. Any questions so far on the rationale, on the references? Any questions, queries, concerns? Okay. All right, sige. Tahimik kayo ha. Sige, let's go to the next one. Learning administration, I think you know this already. All our requirements are through Google Classroom. So I note that everyone has joined na. So just check Google Classroom from time to time. Let's go to the course outline. So as I mentioned, we'll start with investment decisions and we'll cover real options first. And for us to understand real options, you need to understand what options are. So meron munang background discussion on option theory before we can apply the concepts of options theory in capital investment decisions. Okay. Letter B, we'll take on mergers and acquisitions afterwards. We'll focus on general principles and pricing of M&A because we don't have time to discuss all other issues related to M&A. I'll try to insert additional topics if we have time regarding M&A. Because I think it's a very rich topic. Marami pang pwedeng aralin sa M&As. But we simply don't have the time, luxury of time to discuss all of them. So if we have extra time at the end, then I'll insert a few more topics on mergers and acquisition. Second half of the course, we'll talk about complex financing decisions, and we will be looking at hybrid securities and project financing. Okay. So yun, essentially yun ang buong course natin. As far as the topics are concerned, we start today. Actually, I just realized someone pointed out na nilagay ko pala no assignment this week. Sige, susundin ko na lang yung outline. No? In my mind kasi may assignment talaga ako for the first week. Pero for some reason, in the course outline I provided, nilagay ko pala no assignment. So sige, I'll cancel the assignment for this week. So to be faithful with the course outline. So we'll try to be attuned with the course outline as much as possible. Okay? So yung assignment na nilagay ko, ignore nyo na lang. Then we'll do the first assignment next week. Okay? So for this week, what we'll do is we'll have this synchronous session and there's a chapter that you need to read, chapter 20 of Brealey, Myers, and Allen. After an introduction to options today, we'll have valuation of options. And there's a lecture that you need to view. Ang synchronous sessions lang natin for this course is this session and the cases. Okay? All other sessions are asynchronous. But of course, it does not preclude you from consulting. No? Kung may hindi kayo naintindihan sa lesson, just consult. No? I'm very open if you want to meet to consult, or if you have questions na you want to email, just email it anytime, right? And also to consult, pwede ring hindi sa, if you want to consult na through Zoom, that's also possible. Pwedeng ibang schedule, you simply need to inform me, and we can set the timeline or set the schedule. Okay. So for session 2, this is asynchronous, valuation of options. Session 3 is real options, again an asynchronous session. And then we go with mergers and acquisitions and valuation of companies for mergers and acquisition. And then we'll have the first set of cases. So the first set of cases will be December 10 and 17. Okay. So right before the year ends, essentially. As I mentioned here, the sessions can be compressed into one if you want. Kasi 3-hour sessions naman talaga yung isang klase, right? So if you want December 10 lahat or December 17 lahat, it's okay with me. So you just have to inform me if that's what the class prefers. You can inform me later on na lang. Okay. And then after Christmas break, we'll discuss hybrid financing, project financing, and then the second set of cases. All right, and then we have a final examination. So if we look at the requirements, what are the requirements for the class? 20% are assignments. Assignments could be by pair or could be individual, depending on the work depending on the assignment in class. Kasi may mga assignment could be too long, so by pair ko siya pinapagawa, or kung simple lang, individual ko siya pinapagawa. So every week it changes. Okay? So assignments, 20%. That is the weight. Cases, 40%. So there will be 4 cases in this class. You'll be asked to present once, and you have to submit papers for the other 3. Okay? 40% is the weight. And then you have 1 written take-home final exam at the end. That will be 40%. So tatlo lang yung requirements, assignments, cases, and then final exam. Okay? So wala nang midterms because wala lang. I mean, I know this is an elective, so I don't want to be too imposing on you guys. So let's just have 1 final examination at the end. And then take home naman, I mean, it's not a sit-down exam, but usually I allow, say, a day to answer the final exam. And it's all online. Okay. Grading plan. Here's the grading plan. You know this already. And then there are 4 cases that we will have to discuss in class. Of course, 1 is a real options case, mergers. 1 case is hybrid securities, and 1 case is project finance. So just 1 per time. Okay. So here's the presenting group, and here's the critic group. Okay. So essentially, all non-presenting groups are critic groups. And if you're a critic group, you need to write a paper, 2 pages, and excluding exhibits. And then you have to ask questions since you're the critic group. Okay. I won't go through the detailed guidelines on the cases. You can read it on your own. For groupings, of course, you can set your own groups. We can do that today. Right? And then I will not resolve your group conflicts. So, I mean, part yan ng being a manager, right? You have to resolve your group conflicts on your own. So I will not disband groups. So basta na-form na, yan na yun. So you have to choose your group as well. And then we will institute a peer evaluation system at the end. Now the specific guidelines will be provided to you later in the semester. Okay. Grade solicitation, you can just read those things, and then deadlines, important deadlines. Any questions so far on the requirements, on the outline? Sige, go ahead, Efren.
Sir, yung assignment po na-upload, sir, sa Google Classroom, na deadline na November 11, di ba makakancel yun, sir?
Yes, cancel ko na lang.
Sir, hindi na yun, sir, yung magiging sir, yung assignment assignment for, ay deadline is November 18. Para mag-iiba, sir.
Mag-iiba, yes.
Sige, sir. Sige po.
Ibang topic kasi yung nilagay ko palang assignment 1.
Sige, sir. Next question,
Yes,
sir. Last po. Yun
Yes.
sa pairing po, sir, ng assignment, sir. Kami rin ba pipili nun, sir?
No, I will be the one assigning it.
Sige, sir. Thank you, sir. Yun lang po.
Binabago ko siya every week para you get to work with many people for the whole sem or trying. Kasi ang mahirap ngayon sa online, you don't interact, di ba? I mean, na kayong kausap, no, except your friends. So siguro, that's why what I always do sa assignment, I randomly pair everyone para may bago ka namang kausap every time there's an assignment. Okay? Next, Gelo. Tama
Yes, sir.
ba yung pronunciation?
Gailo po.
Gailo.
Apo. Doon po sa ano po, sir, sa critic, bali yung format din po ng paper for that is the same with if you are presenting or parang iba, parang diretso to the ano lang po, analysis. Kasi
Iba siya.
Two-pager lang
Yeah.
po.
Iba siya, and then the guidelines are in the course
Okay.
outline. So basahin niyo na
Okay
lang.
po.
But it's a shorter version. Yung outline din niya is less parts kasi 2 pages lang.
Okay po.
And then siguro ang tip ko rin, even though it's 2 pages lang, it doesn't mean that the analysis is scant. Okay? I mean, there's a way to, kaya siya 2 pages, by the way, is I want you to think about what you're writing. Yun yung palagi kong sinasabi pala sa class. Nakalimutan ko sabihin in this class. No, it's short not because I want to read short papers. It's short because I want to force you to think about what you are writing. Okay? Kasi kung mahaba yung kunyari, 5 pages yung inalaw ko, magsusulat kayo ng napakahabang paper na hindi naman distilled properly. Kumbaga, hindi na pag-isipan properly kasi gusto niyo lang ma-fill up yung 5 pages. Diba? So I'm forcing 2 pages because I want you to be laser focused on how you are going to present your analysis. Okay? So, pwede naman ng exhibits. 2 pages yung write-up, pero yung mga tables, pwede mong ilagay sa exhibit. Right? So, pwede namang maglagay ng exhibit outside of the 2 pages. Okay? Okay. Any questions? Any tanong pa? Yes, Mr. Kabagsikan. Sorry, yung pangalan mo kasi email address.
Renzer. Sir, question, doon sa first assignment, individual assignment siya, sir, no? So, exception siya doon sa syllabus na all assignments are done in pairs? Tama, sir?
Yes. Yeah. It depends eh. Minsan may assignment akong madali lang. So, individual ko siya pinapagawa. Minsan may assignment na medyo mahaba. So, by pair ko siya pinapagawa. So, at maximum by pair. Okay? And by the way, yun nga, yung assignment na pinost ko kanina, sige na nga, hindi ka-cancel ko na lang siya. Okay? Let's start the first assignment next week. Okay? Any other question? Sir, can we still answer the first assignment and get the answer afterwards? Okay lang. Sige. Sige, ganun na lang. Voluntary, meaning you can answer if you want to. I can send the answers afterwards, but it won't be part of the scores. Okay, so, ulit. Sorry, gumulo yung assignment. So yung first assignment na pinost ko kanina, again, gawin ko na lang siyang voluntary, meaning bahala ka if you want to answer or not. I'll still mark it if you want to answer it, but it's voluntary, meaning di rin siya bonus. Kung gusto mo lang matuto. So that's something that you can do. Okay? I-rename ko na lang siya para hindi siya assignment 1. Parang optional assignment. Parang ganun. Okay. Yes, Mr. Silvania.
Confirmation lang, sir. Yung presenting group, sir,
Mhm.
presentation lang yun, sir, walang write-up po. Tama.
Yes, presentation lang, no write-up. I will also ask you to send your calculations if there are any. So, presentation plus calculations na Excel. Yun lang. Walang write-up. Which means you should be able to explain it in the presentation kasi wala nang ibang opportunity to explain. Okay, anything else? Wala na? Okay. Sige. So second part, I want to get to know to know you guys better because baka five times lang tayo magkita, no? So let's have a short getting to know you session. So paano natin gagawin to? I'll introduce myself first. My name is Lawrence Velasco. I'm an accountant by uh, not profession but by my course. No, I'm an accounting student. I have an MS in finance here also in UP. I've been teaching since 2009, but on and off in UP. So I just came back last year to teach again in the MBA program. I've been off for say 4 years before that. Hindi ako nakapagturo. Then ngayon ulit ako nakapagturo. So I am now a full-time faculty. I used to work for Manila Water. I also used to work for the government, the Public-Private Partnership Center of the Philippines, and Procter & Gamble. So yun yung parang background ko, mainly on infrastructure, essentially. Okay? So yun, that's who I am. Okay? So siguro I'll just go through the course, the class list. So kung sino yung tawagin ko, pakilala na lang, name, nickname, course and school. I mean undergraduate or other programs. And then say something unique about yourself. Okay? Para naman medyo maalala ko kayo. Okay? And then paki-on ng camera para makita ko yung itsura nyo. Yun pala, every time we have a presentation or a session like this, sana naman mag-on tayo ng camera. Ako rin. Kasi hindi naman tayo magkikita ulit aside from these sessions. So let's try to take advantage of the circumstance na magkita-kita. Sige, next, first one, John RV Asis.
Hi sir, RV na lang po sir yung nickname.
Okay.
Undergrad ko is BS Math in UP Dilimandan.
Mhm.
I work right now as a senior catastrophe modeling analyst for a reinsurance company based sa Bermuda.
Mhm. So
Yep.
are you an actuary?
Well,
O
I'm
hindi?
taking
Or planning to?
I'm taking exams to be one sir. Pero yung role ko
Okay.
hindi siya actuarial, strictly speaking.
Okay. So what do
Not
you guys
traditional.
model? Like
Catastrophe.
financial?
Catastrophe risks.
Catastrophe.
Yes, sir.
So, parang catastrophe risk. So, probabilities
Ganun
of
sir.
risks, parang ganun?
Yes sir. Parang may engineering tapos all kinds of sciences involving catastrophes like yung earthquakes, so may geology, may meteorology,
Okay.
may input din from meteorologists for yung mga typhoons stuff.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, interesting. Thank you, RV. Next, Michelle.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. So, Mitch na lang, Michelle Baritua, graduated BS Accountancy from University of the East. I'm currently working as a commercial finance analyst at Philip Morris International.
Commercial finance. So, parang business partnering?
Yes, more of like that, sir. Currently, I'm handling yung credit management for the company. In the previous months, handling the budget of the sales offices nationwide. So medyo malikot yung transition ng roles.
Yeah. And I'm sure, I'm sure some of you are planning analysts also. Napakagulo ng planning in the past 2 years because of COVID, right? I mean, how can
Yes,
you
sir.
really plan for something like this? So I'm sure your budgets are also moving
Totoo,
incredibly
sir.
Incredibly volatile.
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
yun. Mga
Sige.
nagbago ng assumptions.
Before I joined the academe again, I was with Manila Water. I was CFO of the international operations. And then parang every 2 weeks we had to revise the forecast because lalo na nung March ba yun? Yeah, March, April, May. Kasi napaka-uncharted territory nung period na yun. I mean, you really don't know what is going to happen. All of a sudden, nagkaroon ng issues on liquidity of all of these companies, right? Because hindi mo alam, may bangko pa ba? I mean, it's so difficult to manage it. Anyway, we won't cover that, but probably we'll cover that in risk management if you take that course. Sige,
Yes.
thank you, Mitch.
Thank you too.
Next, Brens Marion Kabagsikan.
Hi, sir. Good evening. So I'm Brens Kabagsikan. I graduated BS Accountancy from UP Tacloban
Mhm.
in 2016. Tapos after graduating, dumiretso ako sa SGV to work as an audit practitioner. Tapos right now, I'm a cost and budgeting lead for a metals mining company here in our province. So
Mhm.
yun, sir.
So you're in Tacloban now.
Sa munisipyo, sir. Far from Tacloban.
Sa munisipyo ng ano bang Tacloban? Leyte.
Yes, sir. Capital kasi yung Tacloban, sir.
Okay.
Pero nasa malayong.
Okay. So I'm sure yung budget nyo rin nagbago. Pero gobyerno ka naman eh. Hindi, mining company pala. Mining company.
Yes.
Sabi mo. Nagkagulo-gulo rin yung industry na yan during the pandemic. So I hope it's picking up. Thank you, Brens. Next, Ferdinand Mark Cruz.
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Ferdinand Mark and you may call me Makoy Cruz. I got my BS in Accountancy degree from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. And right now, I am working as an internal auditor for Maxion Solar Technologies.
How are you? Are you enjoying being an internal auditor?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Generally, there are challenges, of course, and there are, medyo conflict with other people, mga ganyan, in dealing with them kasi you have to deal with them at all levels. Pero
palagi yung mahirap sa internal audit, right? I mean, minsan ang tingin sa'yo ng lahat ng tao is kaaway ka nila.
Kaaway, police, ganyan.
Police, right?
Yeah. Yun
It's very difficult.
Yeah, but enjoy naman so far. Okay naman.
Good. Mitch, what's your course again?
BS Accountancy, sir.
Accounting ka rin, no?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, i-distribute ko sa mga groups yung mga accounting kasi kaya ako nililista. Okay? Sige. So thank you, Makoy. Right, Makoy? Sige. Next, Paul De Leon.
Hello, good evening, sir. So my name is Paul Jeshimon De Leon. You may call me Paul. So I finished BSc Statistics at UP Los Baños, and before I used to work at UP Manila as a statistician consultant. Then now I am the data analyst, data analytics manager for St. Luke's Medical Center.
Di ang gulo ngayon sa office nyo.
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, part
Very busy.
ng core plan, sa core plan ako, sir. So kami yung nag-head ng budgeting and planning. So for the past year and this year, sobrang gulo talaga, sir. Ang dami nangyaring recasting ng aming budget.
And I heard, nasa news, na PhilHealth has not been paying hospitals. So I'm sure also meron yung impact doon sa inyo. Or wala bang masyadong PhilHealth sa St. Luke's?
Actually, sir, madami din, sir. Parang nasa news nga siguro, parang 2 billion ating sa PUC.
Yeah. Billion piso yung di nila binabayaran. So I think,
yes, sir.
kawawa rin yung mga hospital operations. Okay. Ingat ka dyan. Nasa office ka ba?
Nasa office pa, sir.
Okay. Sige. Sige, thank you. How do I call you again? Nickname?
Paul po. Paul.
Paul.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Paul.
Thank you, sir.
Next, Victor Emmanuel Fuentes.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Hello.
Narinig po ba?
Yes, yes.
And, my name is Victor Manuel Fuentes. You can call me Vic. Took up Bachelor of Science in Accountancy from UST. Working now as an accountant for Mabuhay Energy Corporation. So startup companies.
Startup company. So how are you dealing with the pandemic now as a startup?
Actually, sir, nag-start last year during pandemic na. Medyo mahirap. Kasi mahirap parang lahat sila set up mo in place, tapos wala pumapasok masyado ng pera. So medyo hirap sa capital budgeting.
Correct. Kasi syempre, startup, cash burn talaga yan. Then lalo na ngayon. No? And you say it's an energy company?
Yes, sir. Retail electricity supplier.
Retail. So parang sa Arcoa, that's what you want to do?
Yung isang business nila, parang ganun, sir. Yes.
Okay. So how do I call you? Vic?
Vic, sir.
Accountant din, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Vic. Next, Anaiza Galvez.
Wait lang. Hello po, good evening po.
Hello.
Wait lang po, sir.
Okay lang.
Sorry po, may driver po kasi sa baba, may papapirma lang po. Pero tapusin ko lang po introduction bago po.
Sige.
I'm Anaiza po. I'm currently working as a government accountant from Board of Investment po and attached agency of Department of Trade and Industry. And I previously worked po as an accountant din po sa isang microfinance company. So, I got my BS accountancy degree po sa province po, sa Colegio de Dagupan, Pangasinan. And yun na po. And something unique about me is, I guess, my name.
Sige.
Yun lang po
hindi ko natanong yung iba ng something unique.
Actually, yun na po.
Kalimutan ko. Okay.
Thank you po.
Okay. Thank you. I worked with a lot of people from BOI nung nasa PPP Center ako. Kasi investment promotion sila eh.
Yes.
And sort of investment promotion din naman ng PPP Center. A small part of its mandate. So nakalimutan ko na kung sino mga head ng BOI pero nakamit ko sila before. Sige. Thank you, Anaiza. Next, Eduardo. Ito pala si Gailo Pahinag.
Yes po. So ano po, I graduated BS Accountancy din po from UST. Then I'm currently working as I'm currently working in Wells Fargo EGS Philippines, part of their technology resilience team. Before po, I was with SGV as an IT auditor. So medyo doon na po yung line ko, IT audits. So under dun po sa technology resilience team, more on the compliance role po yung role ko po doon.
Very important. I mean, very important lalo na ngayon. Lumabas yung importance ng IT in the whole value chain of a business during the pandemic, right? Without the IT infrastructure, you cannot really perform as a company or produce anything as a company under these circumstances.
Yes po, parang biglang nag-totally change po yung yung way of working. So before kasi kailangan pumunta sa offices, tas nung nagpa-work from home, kailangan i-make sure na yung backbone po ng infrastructure kaya pong i-support yung work from home. Kasi yung iba po hindi po talaga sila gumagamit ng laptops or on desktop.
And in some companies, ngayon lang din nila na-realize ang importance, for example, ng data security. Kasi dati lahat naman nasa opisina eh. So lahat ng files nandun sa desktop na nandoon, no? And then nung lumabas bigla lahat, I mean, data security became an important issue. And it's an important issue in business continuity as well. Lahat ng business continuity plans, IT related. I mean, most of them are ideally.
Yes po.
How do I call you? Gylo?
Gylo na lang. Gylo po.
Okay.
Tapos ano po sir, something unique.
Oh, sige, something unique.
Though yung ano po, yung daughter ko po minsan nakikisit in po sa mga class ko. So baka may makita po kayo na ano,
Okay
bata
lang.
po.
Okay lang, exempted sa tuition fee. Okay lang 'yun. Hindi ano 'yun, hindi abot sa height. So walang bayad. Okay, thank you, Gylo.
Thank you po.
Next, Maria Cristina Rodriguez.
Hi, sir. Sorry. Ayan.
Hello.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Maria Cristina Rodriguez, but please call me Tina. I also graduated with a degree in BS Accountancy from University of St. LaSalle. So, province po siya sa Bacolod. Pero I'm not a practicing accountant, although I had a very short stint with KPMG 4 years ago. Mga 1 year lang ata ako nagstay. Currently, I'm with HSBC as a credit analyst, but I took on the role parang just recently lang din, mga 1 year pa lang.
Anong ginawa mo dati before that?
The gap was nasa HSBC din po, pero
Okay.
custody and clearing. So settlement of trades ng
Okay.
custodian na part. So off market.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tina. Accounting rin, no?
Undergrad, yes po. Ay, something
Okay.
unique pa po ba?
Oh, sige. Something unique. Go.
This may not be super unique, pero siguro I've watched na Grey's Anatomy mga 4 or 5 times, the entire 16 seasons.
Ha?
Oo. Like, pag natapos ko, like, diba yung nasa Netflix is 15. So, pagkatapos ko 15, tapos hindi ko pa una
Isahan
mahanap
ulit.
yung 16, nag-start ulit ako. Kasi hindi ako makaget over kay
Grabe, no?
Sandra.
Sino nga yung artista dyan? Si Ellen Pompeo.
Ellen Pompeo.
Siya na siya
yes.
tumanda. Kita mo yung
Siya na nga
pagtanda
producer
niya.
ngayon. Oo.
Kita mo yung pagtanda niya from the first to the last.
Yes.
That's what, 18 years worth or 16 years worth.
Mga 16 po, ganun.
Diba? So, grabe.
Yeah.
Parang yung movie, parang napanood niyo yung movie na Boyhood ba yun? Yung parang may bata, then parang every year, nagsushoot sila for like 15 years. So, nakikita mo yung bata na tumatanda. So, tingnan niyo yun. Magandang movie. Ethan Hawke. Anyway, sige. Thank you, Tina. Next, Jonah Marie sa Peter.
Hi, sir.
Hello. Sige, go ahead.
Hi, sir. This is Jonah. I graduated from UP Diliman with a degree in PS Materials Engineering. I currently work for Medtronic. It's a medical device company. I'm a program leader for Asia Pacific. And then something unique about me, the reason I work in the medical device industry is because I'm a PWD myself. So, yeah, I think yun lang, sir.
Anong ginagawa mo as program leader, no? Is that a technical job or more of project management?
Project management, sir. For the region kasi we have several projects that are under one program.
Okay, so yung program leader parang program management or project
program
management,
sir.
Okay.
Program management.
Okay. Thank you, Jonah. Jonah, di ba? How I call you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, Cleo Alitalia Siangyo.
Hi, sir, and hi, classmates. So, you can call me Sir Cleo na lang. And my undergrad is business ad major in internal audit from FEU Manila. And currently, I am an audit consultant at EY GDS Philippines. EY, yun yung shared service arm ni EY in Manila. And something unique about me, sir, I love K-pop, pero girl groups lang. Alam kung unique ba? Ayun po.
O pwede na. Tanggapin ko ng unique yun. So sino yung anong klaseng organizations yung clients nyo? I know that SGV has or EY has a parang yun nga shared service arm. Pero parang hindi ako familiar sino yung mga usual yung clients.
So parang ano kami, offshore. So mga international or US accounts ganyan, yung handle po namin. So nung pandemic, parang nothing much has changed except hindi na namin nakikita yung isa't isa sa office kasi no, mostly naman ang work namin is virtual kasi US counterparts yung kausap namin.
So yung time mo, paano ka nag-work? Anong time mo?
Parang nag-aabot naman po yung US. So umaga, parang gabi nila. So parang nag-aabot naman yung time. No need to to shift to either mid shift or night shift.
Okay. Good.
Yep.
Sige, thank you, Cleo.
Thank you,
Cleo,
sir.
di ba? Tama ba?
Yes po.
Okay. Next, Ephraim Silvania.
Hello, sir. So, graduated BS Accountancy, sir, from Northwestern University, Lawag. So, working as chief accountant po at ACDI Multipurpose Cooperative assigned in Holdings Corporation po.
Ilang Holdings Corporation yung company?
Yes, sir. Apo.
Ilan yung companies na under that holding company?
9, sir. Then yung mga business na yun, sir, is super diverse kasi meron kami aviation, retail, transport, construction, agri-milk production, etc.
So, nagko-consolidate sa'yo. Nag-report ka ng consolidated FS. So, naguguluhan ka. Magulo pag may conso. So, saka depende kung matigas ang ulo ng accountant ng ibang subsidiary. Okay. Akala ko taga Felix ka kasi Felix yung background mo.
Yung case namin to, sir, sa risk management. Hindi ko pa natanggal.
Okay. Okay lang. How do I call you?
Efren, sir.
Efren? Okay. Accounting rin, no?
Yes, sir.
Oh, chief accountant. Okay. Thank you, Efren. Next, Ariana Marie Sisot.
Yes, sir. Hi, good evening. You can call me Ariana. I graduated in UP Tacloban. Undergrad is BS Management. Now I work in Citibank as a compliance officer.
How long ka na sa Citibank?
1 year lang, very recent. I transitioned during the pandemic. So I came from an Australian audit firm. Tapos, ako, actually from PwC, tapos Australian audit firm, and then Citibank na ngayon.
So, sino ba na bang bibili sa Citibank sa Philippines? Wala pa, hindi pa tapos yung ano nyo?
I'm not sure if I can divulge, pero
so, pero nagsubmit na sila, di ba? Nagsubmit na sila ng bid, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Right? So, I'm sure ini-evaluate na lang. I'm not sure though who actually submitted. Lahat ba ng nasa news nagsubmit?
Hindi lahat, sir.
Hindi lahat. Okay. So hanggang doon na lang yung tatanong ko.
Hindi kasi
baka bawal.
Mahirap.
Baka bawal. Mahirap na. Employee ka tsaka recorded to. So
okay.
Okay. Sige. Sige, thank you. So maganda sana sundan yan, no? Sana mangyari ang deal na yan before our class ends. Baka pwede nating aralin yung mga nangyari. Although the documents kasi I'm sure they're not publicly available. So mahirap siyang i-analyze. No? So I'll try to, let's see whether there are public info later on na we can try to look at. No?
Okay.
Pag listed company yung nag-acquire, yan, may disclosure yan. So tingnan natin kung listed company nga yung mananalo. Okay, sige. How do I call you?
Ariana.
Sige, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Daniel Marie Reyes. Daniel.
Hi sir, good evening po.
Hello.
Hello po. Naka-emperador pa siya from last case. Good evening po. I'm Daniel Marie Reyes. You can call me Dane. Undergrad degree po is BS Accountancy from UST. So same with Brents po, worked po as an auditor in SGV for the first 3 years of the profession. Then transferred to the government po. So I currently work in MWSS corporate office. I handle financial reporting, and I'm also involved in the project financials po for the water security legacy roadmap.
Okay. Great. So this is something that will be very useful to you,
Yes,
especially
sir.
the project finance components, no? Because
Thank you, sir.
well, I was from government also, so I know how the government thinks, no? Siyempre, pagkausap mo yung private sector, ang palagi sasabihin ng private sector, we need these kinds of provisions because our lenders will not approve it, no? Kasi siyempre, in a large infrastructure like water or like trains or railways, financing is very important kasi without financing, hindi nila mamamaster yung capital on their own. And here we'll try to understand why the lenders are a very central aspect of infrastructure. Without the banking community, wala kang PPP projects or wala kang any private participation in public infrastructure. No? And we'll try to analyze that. No? Sige. Accountant,
Thank you,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, sa ng list. Kenneth, Unidad.
Hello, good evening, sir. Yes, sir, I'm Kenneth Unidad. I also graduated BS Accountancy from PUP Manila. I'm currently financial planning and budgeting analyst from Meralco. I also handle Meralco Pension Fund accounting. Something unique about me, aside from my name, is parang sa class, ako lang yata yung may 2 kids. And I've been working for the same company for the last 12 years.
Wow, loyal.
Loyal. Yes, sir.
I'm sure kagulo rin ang budget ng Meralco. Kasi sa Manila Water, one of the noong nag-require ng extension ba on payments. Last year parang ganun, no? Parang
Yes.
ni-require ng RO ng NWSS, yan ni Daniel. Ni-require nila na parang bawal magputol ba tapos parang 2 months ang payment or something like that. So,
Tapos ang accounts receivable,
correct.
napakalaki.
So
Yes,
lumaki
sir.
ng lumaki yung receivable, lumaki ang bad debts expense because of that. So it was very difficult. A difficult discussion with auditors. Naalala ko.
Yes.
Okay. Sige, thank you, Kenneth. Lastly, Pamela, Justin, Uy.
So
Nakamute
you
ka.
can call me Pam. Oh, super bright.
Okay.
So you can call me Pam, and then siguro one thing unique about me is in this classroom I'm not sino ba si Ariana din. I'm not an accountant. Ang daming
Okay lang
account
yun.
dito. And well, I graduated BS Management from Ateneo, and yeah, I don't know if accounting doesn't really like me, but anyway, I want to challenge myself with this elective for this term.
What's your work background?
I am in charge of product marketing in Sony. So for right now for digital imaging, so lahat ng, if you're familiar with the Sony Alpha cameras, I do basically demand planning, managing P&L, budgeting, marketing strategy for that in the Philippines. Before I was doing the same for Xperia, if you're familiar with Xperia, and Bravia, the TVs.
Xperia is the phone, right?
Yes. Glad you know, sir. And then, yeah, that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years. Before that, I was doing insight mining for Smart. And in another life, I was a strategic planner for a communications agency.
Okay, very diverse. Very diverse yung background mo actually. So I think this is something na will really add on to that, to your background. Okay. Thank you, Pam. Pam, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yun, tapos na. We're just 16 in the class. Actually, marami pa nga to eh. Last year, 9 lang yung nasa elective ko. So, almost dumouble na. So marami na to for our class. Okay. So based on my count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 accountants in this course. We have 4 groups. So therefore, paano ang distribution yan? One group will have 4 accountants. Another group 3. And, hindi pala. Ano ba to? 10 divided by 4. So 2 and 3. No? So group 2, 2, 3, 3. Tama ba? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. So 2 groups will have 2 accountants. And 2 groups will have 3 accountants. So hindi ko na kayo didictate kung sino yung magkakasama. No? So up to you na. So basta ang constraint is when you form your groupings is that groups 1 and 2 will have 3 accountants. Okay. So groups 1 and 2, 3 accountants. Groups 3 and 4 will have 2 accountants. Okay. So bahala na kayong mag-form ng groups nyo. By tomorrow, I will be posting a parang Google document na ano nyo na lang, i-fill in nyo kung sino-sino kayong magkakagroup. So we won't settle the groupings within this session. So pag-usapan nyo na lang today and tomorrow kung sino yung magkakagroup. So again, what's the rule? Groups 1 and 2 will have 3 accountants each. No, groups 3 and 4 will have 2 accountants each. So that's the only constraint. Okay, para medyo distributed naman yung accountant sa mga groups. Okay? Again, so that's the constraint. And then tomorrow, I will be posting in our Google Classroom the sign-up sheet for it. So sign up na lang kayo kung which group. Okay? Kung which group number. Okay? Any questions on the groupings? Clear naman, no? Again, groups 1 and 2, 3 accountants each. Groups 3 and 4, 2 accountants each. And by accountant, ang ginawa kong basis undergraduate. Okay, so if accountant ka pero hindi yun na ginagawa mo ngayon, like, sino nga ba yung nagsabi nun? Tina ata, right? Counted ka pa rin as an accountant in my eyes. Okay, so, sige. So, basta ganun ang distribution natin. Okay? Any questions on the course or on the lesson so far? Or wala pa palang lesson, on the discussion so far? Wala na? Sige. Kung wala na, we'll proceed with the lecture. Proceed na ako sa lecture para maaga tayong matapos. Okay? Rather than have a break in between. Wait lang. Can you see the screen? Okay. So for today, wait lang. Wait lang. Naubusan na ako ng battery. Where is my... Okay, so today what we'll do is we'll have an introduction on options. As I mentioned, yung concept ng options will be part of the greater concept of real options. So kailangan muna natin ng konting fundamental discussion on what options are. Okay? In finance, in general. Okay? So today we'll talk about options and what determines option values. So we'll discuss that later on. Okay. So first, we need to understand some option terminologies. Okay. So first, we need to understand that there are 2 kinds of options, a call option and a put option. Okay. So yan, di-define natin yan pareho. So what is a call option? Basahin natin yung definition. A call option is it's a right to buy an asset at a specified price on a specified exercise date. Okay? So kung meron kang call option, meron kang right na bilhin ng isang asset at a specified price. And that price is called the exercise price. Okay? You have the right to buy that asset at a specified price on or before a specified date. And that date is called the exercise date. Bakit exercise? Yung pag in-exercise mo yung option mo, yun ang price. No? So kaya exercise yung sinasabing term. Okay? So ang option, meron ka lang right, but you do not have the obligation to do it. Diba by nature, pag sinabing may option ka to do something, ibig sabihin hindi ka forced. Right? O may option kang sumali sa barkada outing next week ha. So ibig sabihin, hindi ka forced. Right? You have a right to join the barkada outing, but you are not in any way obligated to join. Ganon din ang options, na call options. You have the right to buy an asset at a specific price or a pre-specified price. No? On or before a specified date, but you don't have the obligation, no, to exercise that option. Okay, so for example, here, an option to buy AC Energy shares at the Philippine Stock Exchange at a certain price, 4 pesos per share. Hypothetical lang to so hindi yan totoo. This option is not true. Okay, at a specified price of 4 pesos per share on a specified date on December 9, 2020. Okay? So this is a call option because it's a right to buy something. Okay? At a specified price at a specified date or on or before a specified date. Okay? So that's what a call option is. Yung kabaliktaran ng call option is called a put option. Okay? Rather than having a right to buy, if you have a put option, you have a right to sell an asset at a specified price on or before a specified exercise date. So for example, you have an option to sell 10,000 kavans of rice at 2,000 per kavan on December 31, 2020. So ibig sabihin yan, by December 31, 2020, you have to decide, will you sell? No? Will you sell 10,000 kavans of rice at 2,000 or not? You have the right to choose whether you will proceed with selling or put off the selling. Okay? So when you proceed with exercising of the rights, ang tawag doon, you exercise the option. Okay? Meaning ginamit mo yung option. You exercised it. Okay? Ngayon, kung dumating yung date, tapos wala kang ginawang action, hindi ka nag-buy if you have a right to buy, hindi ka nag-sell if you have a right to sell, ang tawag doon, that option is expired. Tapos na yung buhay ng option, right? Because dumating na yung December 9 and you did not exercise your right to buy, ibig sabihin after December 9, that option is already expired. Okay? So these are very important concepts kasi later on you will realize that some projects have an option attached to them and sometimes that option is akin to a call option and sometimes that right is akin to a put option. So later we will develop that story further, 3 sessions down the road. Okay? Okay. Now, sa isang option, an option is a contract, di ba? Alam nga namang dapat may kausap ka. An option is a contract. Right? So in a contract, 2 parties yan. Right? One party, siya yung merong right, has the right to exercise. Right? So for example, ikaw, meron kang right to buy an asset at a specified price on or before the exercise date. So kung ikaw ang may option, ikaw yung may karapatan. Right? Mayroon kang right. Right? You have the right to exercise that option. Ngayon, ang tanong, kanino mo i-exercise yan? Sinong pagbibilhan mo ng AC Energy shares at a specified price? Dapat may kausap ka. So meron kang counterparty. Right? Kasi hindi ka naman makakabay an asset at a specified price kung wala kang kausap, wala kang counterparty. Okay? Nagets ba ako? So, kunyari, ako yung kausap mo, ikaw yung may right to buy an asset. Kung meron kang right to buy an asset, if you exercise your rights to buy an asset, ako, yung kausap mo, I will be obligated to sell that asset to you. Right? So, for example, ito na lang kaban ng rice. You have a right to sell an asset, 2,000 pesos for 10,000 kavans of rice. Okay? So meron kang 10,000 kavans of rice. Ibibenta mo at 2,000 because that is the option that you have. Right? Dapat may kakontrata ka. So ako, kung ako yung kakontrata mo, if you exercised your option to sell the asset, it means me, who is your counterparty, I am obligated to buy, right, your kavans of rice at 2,000 per kavan. Tama ba? Kasi ako yung counterparty mo sa kontrata. Na ang tawag sa kontrata is a put option. Okay? So, ikaw, you have a right to sell an asset or not. Ako, I don't have the same rights as you. Tama ba? Kasi pag nag-exercise ka ng option mo, ako, na kontrata mo, obligated akong sundin ka, which is to buy the asset that you are selling at 2,000 per kaban na 10,000 kavans of rice. Okay? Now, ikaw at ako may tawag sa atin in an option. How do we call those things? No? Yung ikaw at ako in that option, ang tawag dyan, we have positions on an option contract. So yung example natin na put option, okay? Kung ikaw, meron kang right to sell the asset to me at a specified price, ang tawag sa'yo, you have a long position on an option contract. Okay? So yung may karapatan, siya ang long position. Yung walang karapatan, meaning has the obligation to do according to what you wish, okay? No? Yun ang tawag doon is the short position in an option contract. In our example a while ago, ikaw meron kang put option, you have the right to sell the asset, right to sell the kavans of rice to me. Pag nag-decide ka na yes, you want to sell it to me, and you exercised your right to sell, ako, I won't have any choice but an obligation to buy the asset from you at the specified price. You're the long position, I am the short position in that option contract. Okay? Kuha ba yun? So medyo terminologies pa yung mga first lecture. So medyo kailangan nyo lang intindihin muna yung mga concepts. Okay? Now, in a call option, kunyari ikaw, mayroon kang call option. Kung may call option ka, you have a right to buy an asset. Right? So, pag in-exercise mo yung option mo to buy an asset, you have to buy it from someone. Kanino mo bibilin yun? Bibilin yun from the short position, which is me. And if you exercise your right to buy an asset, I have an obligation to sell the asset to you at the specified price because I am the short position. Okay? So, may tinatawag na long position in a call option. Meron din tinatawag na short position in a call option. Right? In my example, the one who holds the option or has the option is the long position. Okay? The one who has to abide by the decision of the option holder is the short position. Okay? So those are some two terminologies that we need to familiarize ourselves with. Okay? Ito is another set of terms that we need to be familiar with. Number one is a European option, and second is an American option. What is a European option? A European option can only be exercised at the end of its life. Okay? In our example, in this example, this is a European option, right? Kasi iisang date lang pwedeng mag-exercise. Okay? Anong sabi? an option to buy AC Energy shares at 4 pesos per share on December 9, 2020. By nature, this is a European option. Okay? Kasi pwede lang siyang i-exercise at one date. No? Hindi siya pwedeng i-exercise December 8, no, or December 7. Hindi siya pwedeng i-exercise December 10. Pwede lang mag-decide on December 9. So that is called a European option. An American option, on the other hand, is that it is exercisable anytime until the end of the option date. So for example, sinabi dito na you have the option to sell 10,000 kavans of rice at 2,000 pesos on or before December 31, 2020. It now becomes an American option. Okay? So terminologies lang. European option, one date lang ang exercise. Okay? American option can be exercised anytime until the deadline, which is December 31, 2020. Okay? So those are European and American options. Lastly, the last thing that we need to understand in terms of terms is the term option premium. Okay? Yung option premium, ito yung bayad sa option. Okay? Price paid for the option. Ang option, hindi yan libre. Okay? So ang option, if you have a right to buy the asset, usually that is not free. There is a payment for that option. Okay? That payment is called the option premium. Parang insurance premium. Okay? Same concept, right? Diba ang insurance is that pag merong nangyaring masama, you can be indemnified, right? You can be indemnified. Because of that right that you have to be indemnified, you have to pay insurance premiums. Okay? Parang ganun din yung option premium. Since you have a right to buy an asset at a certain price, it has an advantage to you. Diba? What is that advantage? We'll discuss that in the next slide. Okay? And since it has an advantage to you, may presyo yan. Right? And that presyo is called the option premium. Okay? Now, pursuing what I mentioned kanina, bakit advantageous sa holder ng option to have an option? Okay? Kasi syempre, pwede mo siyang i-exercise kung advantageous sa sayo. At kung hindi naman siya advantageous sa'yo, pwede mo siyang i-let to be expired. Okay? Such as in what circumstances? Let's proceed to the next slide. No? Let's have an hypothetical option. So you have an option. Let's have a call option first. Option to buy shares at 4 pesos per share on December 31, 2021. That is the option that you have. Okay. What are the different scenarios that may happen by December 31, 2021? There are 3 scenarios that could happen. What are those scenarios? The price of this stock is 4 pesos by December 31. It could be greater than 4 pesos by December 31, or it could be less than 4 pesos by December 31. Tama ba? So, for example, option to buy shares in AC Energy. The shares of AC Energy by December 31, okay, might be 4 pesos. It could be higher than 4 pesos or lower than 4 pesos. Okay? Which is essentially all prices, right? Now, tanungin kita, if you have an option to buy AC Energy shares, okay, pag ba ang price ng AC Energy shares is greater than 4 pesos sa market, i-exercise mo ba yung option mo or hindi? Yes or no? Walang sasagot? Ulitin ko yung tanong. you have an option to buy AC Energy shares from someone at 4 pesos per share. Okay? Dumating yung December 31. Pagdating ng December 31, tiningnan mo yung Philippine Stock Exchange. Sabi sa PSE, ang presyo ng AC Energy in the stock exchange is 7 pesos per share. Okay? Ikaw, i-exercise mo ba yung option or hindi?
Exercise, sir.
Exercise the option. Why will you exercise the option? You had an option to buy at 4 pesos. Pag binili mo sa market, 8 pesos or 7 pesos. So, ibig sabihin, nakatipid ka. Right? So, if there's an option to buy, okay, and the price in the market is higher than your exercise price, ibig sabihin, nakatipid ka if you exercise. Right? So, here, check. You will exercise at 4 if the price is greater than 4 pesos. Ngayon, if the price sa stock exchange is 3 pesos per share lang, advantageous ba sa'yo na i-exercise yung option to buy at 4 pesos? No. Right? Why is it not advantageous to you? Kasi mas mura na bumili ka na lang sa market kasi 3 pesos ang market eh. Pag in-exercise mo yung option, 4 pesos ang option. Right? So therefore, you will let it expire. So dito exercise, dito expire. Pag equal, syempre, ano ka na? Anong tawag doon? Indifferent. Okay? Kasi wala ka namang kikitain whether you exercise the option or not. Kasi pareho lang. Yung when you exercise it, $4. When you buy it in the market, $4. So you're indifferent between the two decisions. Okay? Nakuha niyo ba ako? So, if you have an option to buy or a call option, okay, if the spot price or the market price is higher than the exercise price or the pre-specified price, then tipid ka. So you want to exercise the option, right? If the price is lower, hindi ka nakatipid. So why would you exercise the option? You will just let it expire. Okay? Pag ang situation ganito, ang tawag dito, your option is in the money. May value yung iyong option, right? Kasi nakakatipid ka. So, in the money raw ang tawag sa options na ganyan. Pag nandito ka sa scenario na ganito, tawag dyan, out of the money. Okay? You're not going to earn anything out of the money yung option. Okay? At kung nandito ka naman, ang tawag, you are at the money. Okay? So let's try to analyze this generalization sa left side ng table. Okay? If the exercise price, K, is equal to the market price, which we will call S sub T, okay, then the option is at the money. Okay? Right? If the exercise price is lower than the spot price or the market price, ano ibig sabihin yan? Pag nag-exercise ka, mas mura ang buying price mo kaysa bilhin mo siya sa market. Right? Therefore, nakakatipid ka. Right? And so therefore, tawag dyan, you are in the money. Okay? May kita. Okay? If your exercise price, K, is higher than the market price, S, it means hindi ka nakatipid kasi call option ka. Right? Pag call option, bibilhin ka. No, bibili ka, rather. No? So, bibili ka ba at K or bibili ka ba at ST? Since mas malaki ang K kaysa ST, hindi ka nakatipid if you exercise at K. So, therefore, you are out of the money. Okay? Kuha ba? Alright. Next. Okay. Let's have a put option naman. Put option. Okay. So for example, kaban ng rice, 2,000 ang exercise price mo. Okay. That's your exercise price. You have to sell. Sorry, nag-thunder dito sa amin. Okay. Your exercise price is 2,000 pesos, right? And you have a put option, so which means you have a right to sell. Okay. You have a right to sell by December 31, 2021, for example. Okay. Now let's construct the same table. So by December 31, 2021, you either have the price will be 2,000 or less than 2,000 or more than 2,000 pagdating ng December 31, right? Now, kung pagdating ng December 31, the price of your kavan of rice is more than 2,000, are you going to exercise your option or not? Sige, sagot.
No,
Okay,
sir.
mag-pressure. No.
No.
So you should not exercise the option. Why? Kasi when you exercise the option, you're only selling at 2,000. Pero when you sell it, the same kavan of rice in the market, you can sell it for more than 2,000, right? So why would you sell or why will you exercise the option? Eh, hindi ka naman nakaka-gain by doing that. So if the price is more than 2,000, you will not exercise the option. And therefore, kung mas maliit ang market price or spot price, okay? So for example, 1.8 lang sa market ang isang kaban ng bigas. Okay? So what are you going to do? You're going to exercise the option. Right? Because it's cost beneficial to you. May gain ka eh. Rather than selling at 1.8, you're able to sell at 2,000. May gain ka. Right? How much is the gain? In our example, 200. Okay? Kasi dapat nakasell ka at 1.8 pero nakasell ka at 2,000 so may extra kang 200 na gain. That gain, this gain is called the payoff or the gain or net advantage in an option upon exercise of the option. Okay? So that gain, that 200, that is the payoff. Okay? So let's try to generalize it in terms of a put option. Okay, let's look at the right side of this table. Okay, so if the exercise price is equal to the market price or the spot price, so please note na sometimes I call ST, sometimes I call it the market price, sometimes I call it the spot price. Okay, spot meaning pag tumingin ka sa market ngayon, nagtanong ka today, magkano po ang kaban ng bigas? Sinabi sa'yo ng seller, 1.8. So that's the spot price. The price now in the market. Okay? Now, if the exercise price is equal to the spot price, meron ka bang advantage na makukuha out of it? Wala. So it doesn't matter if you're going to exercise it or not. So ang tawag dyan, you are at the money. Okay? Let's understand itong payoff na portion, right? If you do not exercise, what is your payoff? What is the net advantage? Zero, right? Hindi mo nga in-exercise yung option eh. So walang advantage yung option from your point of view. Kaya ang payoff niya is zero. Right? Okay, next. If the exercise price is greater than the spot price, so example, exercise price 2,000 greater than the spot price. Our spot price is 1.8 for example. No? Are you going to exercise your option? Yes. Right? Pag you are going to exercise your option, it's called your option is in the money. Okay? Now, let's try to get the payoff. Right? If you are the option holder, ano ang payoff mo? Hindi yung kinita mo because of the option. Right? Magkano kinita mo? You were able to sell it 2,000, pero without the option, you would have been able to sell it only for 1.8. Right? And so therefore, you have a 200 na gain. So this 200 is your payoff as an option holder. So, bakit ko ini-emphasize yung 200 as the payoff of the option holder? Kasi if you look at it from the point of view of your counterparty, yung kausap mo, right? Yung kausap mo, nakabenta sana siya, yung kausap mo, bumili from you, right? Kasi ikaw yung put option holder, so you sold at 2,000. Yung kausap mo, siya yung bumili, right? Yung kausap mo, nakabili siya dapat at 1,800, right? Pero dahil in-exercise mo yung option mo, nakabili siya tuloy ng kaba ng rice at 2,000. And so therefore, from his point of view, wala siyang net gain, right? Meron siyang net loss, correct? What is the net loss? Eh di dapat nakabili siya at 1,800, pero bumili siya at 2,000. So the net loss is negative 200, right? That negative 200 is also the payoff. Pero payoff yan of your counterparty. Anong tawag sa counterparty mo? Siya yung short position. Kaya dito nakalagay, the payoff for the short position is the spot price 1,800 minus the exercise price 2,000, so negative 200. Okay? Ikaw, since you own the option, you are the long position. Right? Since you're the long position, you have a payoff. What's your payoff? Strike price 2,000 less exercise price 2,000 minus spot price of 1,800. So meron kang kinita na 200. So this is the payoff of the long position. Okay? Nakakasunod pa kaya kayo? So I'm just trying to mix the two concepts. Okay? Yung long position, short position, saka yung payoff. Tandaan mo lang kung ikaw yung mag-exercise ng option, yung payoff mo positive or zero. Right? Kasi pag hindi advantageous sa'yo yung option, hindi mo i-exercise. Right? And so therefore, ang payoff mo zero. Wala kang advantage, wala ka ring disadvantage. Wala kang nilugi. Right? Because hindi mo naman in-exercise yung option. Okay? Yung kausap mo, ang payoff niya, negative or zero. Right? Kasi pag positive sa'yo, negative yun sa kanya. Right? Mapo-force siya kasi to do what you want. So, doble kara lang kayo. I mean, negative of what you have. Okay? And then, pag hindi ka nag-exercise, zero ang payoff mo. Ang payoff niya, nung kausap mo, zero rin. Right? So yun, that's how options work. Okay? So payoff is zero if an option is not exercised. No transaction will take place on the exercise date. Okay? So let's go back to call options and try to understand the payoff of these call options. Okay? Ano yung example natin? AC Energy uli. 4 pesos per share is the call option. And then, sabi natin, for example, the spot price, for example, is 3 pesos. Okay. So if the spot price is 3 pesos, is the option at the money, in the money, or out of the money? Sige nga, type kayo sa chat. Type sa everyone para mabasa ng lahat. Okay. So in our example, you have a call option on AC Energy, 4 pesos per share. The spot price at the time of exercise is 3 pesos per share. Is the call option at the money, in the money, or out of the money? I-message nyo sa lahat.
Parang walang everybody dun sa chat box eh.
Wala bang everybody?
Sa akin, direct message lang sa'yo, sir.
Same, sir. Direct message lang din.
Bakit ang exclusive ko naman? Paano ba gagawin yun? Ayun, ayan, okay na. Sige, go. Chat with everybody. Ulitin ko, price ang option is 4 pesos per share, call option, right? The spot price sa market ngayon is 3 pesos per share. At the money, ATM, in the money, or out of the money. Sige, hintay tayo ng mga 5 answers. Yan. Okay, so maraming sumagot, out of the money. Okay, so in this case, the option is out of the money, right? Because ang option to buy is at 4 pesos per share. Pero bakit mo naman i-exercise yun? Pwede ka bumili sa market at 3 pesos per share. Right? So therefore, it is out of the money. The exercise price is greater than the market price. And therefore, the payoff is 0 for both the long and the short positions. Okay? Next, scenario 2. The second scenario is the price is 7 per share. So obviously, anong answer dito? In the money na yung call option. Bakit? Kasi the call option is 4 per share. If you buy it the same share in the market, it's 7 pesos. So mas mahal. So exercise mo na lang yung option. Okay? If you exercise your option, if you are in the long position, how much is your payoff? Remember, if you have the long position, ikaw may karapatang mag-exercise ng option. And you will only exercise if it is advantageous to you, right? In this case, is it advantageous to you? Yes. Magkano yung advantage sa'yo? 3 pesos. Right? Saan nanggaling yan? My exercise price is 4. My spot price is 7. If I bought it in the market, I would have paid 7 pesos for this AC Energy shares. Right? However, since I used my option, I only paid 4 pesos for it. So I gained 3. So the payoff of the long position is 3 pesos. Okay? What is the payoff of the short position? Yung short position, dahil nag-decide ka na i-exercise yung option mo, forced ako to comply. Ako yung short position. Forced ako to comply. I would have sold my AC Energy shares in the market for 7, but because you exercised your option, I'm forced to sell it to you at 4. So therefore, my payoff is negative 3. Okay? So, if you look at in the money, na call options, ang payoff sa long position, spot 7 minus exercise price 4. 3. Okay? Ang payoff sa short position, exercise price 4 minus 7, negative 3. Yung ginain mo, lugi ng usap mo. Okay? Sige. Let's see if you understood these concepts. Okay? Let's go to the next slide. In the next slide, which of the following graphs pertain to the following option positions? Isa-isahin natin. Okay? Ito munang number 1. Ano sa tingin yung option ang may graph na ganyan? Let's analyze it. Okay? Ang payoff daw ng option nito ay 0 if the spot is less than K, right? And it is positive if the spot price is greater than K. Right? Habang tumalaki yung spot price, lumalaki yung gain. Right? So ano kayang klaseng option ito? Okay? For one, we know that it is long. Why do we know that it is long? Kasi may gain. Right? Remember, ang short position, palagi siyang loss. Loss or zero. Ang long position, okay, gain or zero ang kanyang payoff. Okay? Now, is it a call option or a put option? Yun na lang ang choices mo. Long call or long put. Okay? So, anong sabi? Exercisable daw siya if the spot price is greater than the strike price. Ibig sabihin, long call option yan. Right? Bakit long call? Kasi pag ang spot price mas malaki kaysa sa strike price, na-exercise. Ibig sabihin, nakaka-gain siya if the spot price is greater than the exercise price. And that will only happen if you have a right to buy something. Right? Kasi you want to buy it at a lower price than buying it at the market. So number 1 is a long call option. Diba? I hope nakuha nyo yun. Okay? Kasi culmination na to na dapat natutunan natin in the previous slides. Okay? Let's go here. Number 2. So, sa graph pa lang, alam natin 0 or negative, which means this can only be a short position. Right? Correct? Short position yan. Ang tanong na lang, short call or short put. Okay? Kailan na-exercise ang option na to? Na-exercise siya, 0 siya if spot is less than K. Na-exercise siya ng counterparty if spot is greater than K. Right? At dahil na-exercise siya ng counterparty, required ka magbayad. Right? Kaya negative sa'yo since you are the short position. So ano to? Short call or short put? Paki-type nga. Sige. So tama. So this is a short call. Okay? All right. Let's go to number 3. Purahin ko na yung nakasulat. Let's go to number 3, this one. Okay? So obviously, short or long? Yun muna yung question for number 3. Paki-type, short or long? Okay, so this is a long position, right? Why? Because siya yung kumikita. Therefore, siya yung nag-exercise ng option. Right? Now, this is a a long put option. Paano ko nalaman yun? Okay? Pag daw ang spot price is greater than the exercise price, hindi na-exercise. Okay? Pag ang spot price greater than the exercise price, pag put option, hindi na-exercise, di ba? Kasi you'd rather sell your asset in the market rather than sell it through the use of the option. Okay? Yung example natin kanina, no? So for example, ang strike price 2,000, ang spot price 2,200. Kung may put option ka, i-exercise mo ba yung put option mo? Hindi, di ba? Kasi you'd rather sell it in the market rather than selling it through the option. So therefore, pag put option, for prices above the exercise price, you are not exercising it and therefore your payoff is 0 and therefore ganyan yung itsura ng graph. Okay? Pag ang price naman less than K, okay, i-exercise mo yung option. And that's our example na 1,800 sa market and 2,000 exercise price. Right? You'd rather sell it through the option or sell it in the market. And so therefore, okay, na-exercise siya. Okay? Kaya meron kang gains dito. So number 3 is a long put option. And therefore, number 4 is a short put option. So nakita mo, mirror sila of each other, si 3 and 4. Right? So ganito yung red na graph is long put. Okay? Yung black is the short put. So mirror sila of each other here. Kasi yung gain ng long put is simply the loss of the short put. Okay? Understand? Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So what we have been discussing so far are payoffs. We now extend our concept from payoff to profit. Okay? Anong pinagkaiba ng payoff sa profit? Teka lang ha, ayaw kasing Oops, mali. Yan, okay. Now we sort of differentiate payoffs of options and the profits of options. Payoff versus profit. Okay? Ang payoff ng options, yun yung difference between spot price at saka ng exercise price. Diba? Pag sinali mo na yung profit, ibig sabihin lang nun, sinasali na natin yung cost of the option premium. Remember, may bayad yung option, di ba? So may premium yun. Remember, yung option, may premium, may bayad yun. So may expense ka related to it. Right? So ang pinagkaiba ng payoff sa profit, same lang yung payoff and profit, except that sa profit, ibinawas mo yung cost of the option or the option price. Okay? So kung dati sa payoff, spot minus exercise lang, ima-minus mo rin yung cost of the option. Okay? And that becomes the profit of the option. Okay? So let's have this example of a long call. So here, what is the profit from buying one European call option? So for example, the option price is 5 and the strike price is 100. Okay? So ang important na price dito 100. Right? Because we know, no, na pag in a call option, kung ang price below 100, the option will not be exercised. Okay? So the payoff from 0 to 100, okay, is 0. Right? Because sa call option, you'd rather buy for a cheaper price. Right? Now, what is the profit? Profit is equal to payoff less the option value or the option price. In this case, the profit is 0 minus 5. So negative 5. Okay? Kaya kung makita mo dito, yung graph is negative 5 from the left side up to 100. Right? And then 100 onwards, it starts getting some payoffs. Right? And eventually, may price na break even. Right? At a certain price, break even na yung option. Yung profit ng option. Nagets nyo ako? Okay. What is that price? Ang option price na gusto mong bawiin is $5. So dapat it's the price where the payoff is equal to $5. And what is that price? That price is 105. Kasi at 105, you have a payoff of 5 minus 5, then you have a profit of 0. And that's the break-even point. Okay? Kuha ba yun? Now, for a long call option, kabaliktaran lang siya ng short call options. Okay? Bakit may mga taong gusto ng short position? Kasi dahil sila yung nag-write ng option, sila yung nagbenta ng option. So may natanggap sila. Ang natanggap nila yung option price na $5. Okay? So kasi kung iisipin mo sa payoff lang, sino namang merong maggustong maging short position? palaging negative yung payoff nila, di ba? Zero or negative. Sino naman may gusto nun? Right? So, mukhang illogical. When we talk about profits, logical na siya. Kasi yung short position, siya yung nagbenta ng option. So, na-receive niya yung 5. Okay? And because na-receive niya yung 5, pag hindi na-exercise yung option, may kita siyang 5 until 100. Diba? And then beyond 100, na-exercise na yung option. So nagkakaroon na siya ng negative payoffs. Okay? So ganoon pa rin. Ito namang, paganto nga lang yung graph ng long call. And then yung short call, ganyan yung graph. Okay? In terms of profits. Okay? Yung long call, negative 5. Pag not exercised, and then pag nag-exercise na, kumikita na. Okay? Yung short call, positive 5 kasi yun yung kinita niya from the option selling. And then pag na-exercise na, nababawasan na yung kita niya. Okay? So that's how it goes in terms of long and call options. Okay? Let's go to the next one. Put options. Okay? So in this case, profit from buying a European put option. The option price is $7. The strike price is 70. So ang important na tingnan yung 70. Okay? Pag ang price higher than 70, hindi na exercise. Right? And so the payoff is 0. From 70 and higher. Okay? Now, remember, profit is payoff less the option price. So that's why ang option price, ang profit is negative 7. Okay? Now, starting 70, positive na yung meron ng payoff. So ngayon, nagsa-start na siyang mag-earn ng payoffs, and then darating na yung point na yung payoff is enough to cover the price. Okay? Cover the cost of the option. What is the break-even price here? Okay? So dapat your payoff is equal to 7 para 0 ang profit. No? If your strike price is 70 minus, if your exercise price rather is 70 minus pot, so therefore your price is 63. At 63, you have enough payoffs to pay for the option that you bought. Okay? And kabaliktaran lang for a short call option. Okay? So let me graph again. Ang short call option, negative 7. Moving forward. Okay? And then pagdating dito, ikita na. Okay? So this is the graph of a long put option. And this one is the graph of a short put option. Okay? So, ano lang sila? Mirrors of each other. Okay? Any questions so far? Profit, payoff, long, short, call, and put. Dami yun na natutunan na terms. Okay? Put option, short, put option, call option, long position, short position, payoff, and profit. Okay? And combinations thereof. Okay? Sige. Let's go to the next concept. Okay? The next concept is the concept of put-call parity. Okay? This is a theory. So ito medyo theoretical. Okay? Pero ang point niya is this. Diba ito yung ang point niya yung formula na to eh. na yung left-hand side at saka right-hand side ng equation na to ay equal. Okay? So, ano-ano yung components ng left-hand side and right-hand side na to? Okay? C is the option price of a call option plus the present value of the exercise price of that option should be equal to the price, the option price of an equivalent put option plus the price of the asset today, spot price of an asset today. This should hold, no, under the put call parity. Kasi syempre, for example, meron kang AC shares, di ba? Pwede kang gumawa ng call option yan. Exercise price, K equals 4 pesos. Pero option to buy. Pwede rin akong gumawa ng put option version yan. Right? Same exercise price, 4, pero option to sell. Right? Ang sinasabi dito, the option price of a call option, no, plus the present value of the strike price, which is 4, okay, should be equal to the price of an equivalent put option of the same features, no, plus the market price of the shares today. Okay? So I won't put you to the parang proof of it. Ito yung proof actually. Okay? Pero wag na lang. Wag na nating i-go through yung proof. Okay? Parang ang sinasabi under put call parity is these two should hold. This equality should hold. Otherwise, mayroong mispriced. Okay? So for example, if this part of the equation is higher than this part of the equation, ibig sabihin merong market imbalance and you may take advantage of what's called arbitrage opportunities. Ano yung arbitrage opportunities? Ang arbitrage, ang tawag dyan ay riskless profit. Okay? Anong magandang example ng arbitrage? Okay? For example, kunyari sa McDo, okay, bumili ka ng value meal. Price, okay, McDo, burger McDo, tsaka drink. Okay? Yung value meal mo, 50 pesos. Okay? Pero pag binili mo yung fries, 10 pesos. Pag binili mo yung burger, 20 pesos. Pag binili mo yung drinks, 10 pesos. 40 pesos lang. Tipid ka. Right? What investment strategy can you think about so that you can take advantage of this imbalance in pricing? Hindi yung pwede kong gawin, bumili ako ng fries, buy low, sell high. Right? What's the investment strategy or the investment strategy that I could make? I will buy the fries, burger, and the drinks separately. It will only cost me 40. And then sell it as a happy meal or sell it as a value meal to someone at 50 pesos. So, meron akong kinita na 10 pesos. Yung kinita mong 10 pesos, that's called a riskless profit. Kasi you're just able to take advantage of market price imbalances. So parang ganun yung concept ng put call parity. So dapat yung left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. If not, you can buy low, sell high. Right? Kung sino man yung lower, pwede mong bilhin yung portfolio na yun and then sell the portfolios na mahal. Okay? So, daming sulat nitong slides na to. Copy nyo na lang or tingnan nyo na lang sa recording. I'll upload this recording para you can review it. Okay. So let's have an example. Sa next slide. So, what's the put call parity again? Put call parity is C plus K E negative RT, which is present value, essentially, equals P plus spot price. Okay. Sandali lang ha. Can you give me a few seconds? Yung aking, wala na raw battery yung aking, tawag dito, headphones. Wait lang.